So due to network issue, I think it is disconnected. So only one student is joining. Okay. So I think in last session I'm discussing about your different type of fire extinguisher. So one of the fire extinguisher is your water type fire extinguisher. Another type is your dry type fire extinguisher. Another is your foam type fire extinguisher. Next is your CO2 fire extinguisher, and last one is your wet chemical type fire extinguisher. I discussed all these things that the color prefer or the logo use is of red color. Here we use the logo of blue color. Here we use the logo of cream color. So here it is cream color. Here it is black color. It is black color. Here it is yellow color. Here it is yellow color. Here it is blue color. Here it is red color. So the different types of color of fire extinguisher will be used. So where it is used, I also mentioned these things. So it is used for wood, paper, textile, etc. Used for flammable liquids. Used for this used on for wildfires. Used for electrical equipment. Used for flammable liquids. Used for flammable liquids. Do not use for flammable liquid and electric equipment. Also do not use for electric equipments. Here it is also do not use for electric equipment, not used for a confined space. So these are basic. Here it is not used for confined places, because if it is used for a confined places, then CO2, then here this CO2 will expand everywhere. So basically this CO2 will expand everywhere, and this causes to death of a individual or death of a people. So these are different type of fire extinguisher we use. So next next is your water system. So you see this that this water system, this water is WES, the universal firefighting medium. We know water is the universal firefighting medium, so it is readily available in large quantity, and in general it is more economical than any type of firefighting medium. So you remember these things, that this type of system, this type of water type fire extinguisher system is cheapest among all the fire system. Next is it is most effectively used for class A cases. So I discussed these things, that it is effectively used for your class A fire. So for fire protection purpose, the water supply should be separate from a building domestic water system, even though the two are connected to the same public water main. So here this is your water type fire system. Safe for wood, paper and textile, not for live electric equipment, not for flammable liquid, and also not for flammable metal fires. So these are the arrangement of your fire water type fire extinguisher. Here this is siphon tube. This is your siphon tube. This is your anti overfill tube. This is the handle. This is your discharge level. This is your pressure gauge. This is your distilled water. So basically here we put distilled water. Here we have wand application. Here we have misting nozzles. So basically these are the various arrangements of our water type fire extinguisher. Next, next, next is our foam type fire extinguisher. So foam type fire extinguisher, I discuss it. So foam system. So foam system are most effective for class B fires, usually by liquid oil, grease, paints, etc. So the foam is made by generators which mix water with detergents or other chemicals to produce as much as 1000 gallon of foam for each gallon of water. So this system suppress fire by separating the fuel from air or oxygen. So it is used on wood, paper, and textile. Used on flammable liquid fires, not used for live electric equipment, and also not used for flammable metal fires. Next, aqueous film or polymeric membrane. So here it works. This is your foam blanket. Here this is your oxygen, and this is your aqueous film or polymer membrane, and this is your fuel. So this foam blanket will cover over this aquatic film or polymeric membrane and do not allow this oxygen to get uh, get involved with this membrane, polymeric membrane, and due to this the fire will be extinguishes. Next next is our gaseous fire suppression system. So gaseous systems are most effective for class C, class C5 caused by electric equipments. All these gases are stored in liquid state under high pressures. So these are three variants in agent gases. So the carbon dioxide, CO2. Next is your halogenated gas. Next is your chlorine, bromine, or iodine. These are your halogenated gases. Next is your atmospheric gases, so mixture of argon, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. The gases mixture is non-toxic with zero oxygen depletion potential, ODP. This is the ODP, that means ozone depletion potential, and zero global warming potential. This is your GWP. So this is your gaseous fire suppression system. Next, next is your dry chemicals. So this is your dry chemicals. So this is also known as powder type fire extinguisher. I discussed these things also. So here you all see this is your dry chemicals, or it is also known as powder type. Powder, powder, powder fire extinguisher. So dry chemicals are used especially for class D fire caused by combustible metals. Next is example of uh, example of such metals include sodium, titanium, magnesium, potassium, uranium, lithium, and calcium, magnesium, and titanium fires are common. Next, when one of these combustible metals ignites, it can easily and rapidly spread to surrounding and ordinary combustible materials. Next is most of the dry chemicals contains bicarbonates, chlorides, phosphates, and another proprietary compounds. Next, the use of water should be avoided on burning metal since hot metal extracts oxygen from water, promotes combustion, and at the same time liberates hydrogen which ignites readily. So this is your uh, dry chemicals. This is also known as ABC fire extinguisher. So this is also your ABC because it it is used in all types of fire. So basically this is your ABC fire extinguisher. Next, here these are here we have fine powders. Here this N denotes your metal. Next is here may have gauge. Here will have gauge, may have holes. So these are the remnants of our dry chemicals. Next is standpipe and hose system, extender pipe system. So this is another type of our system used for our firefighting. So extender pipe system consists of piping, valves, hose connection, and nozzle to provide streams of water for fire suppression. First one is our wet system, and next is our dry system. Next is our wet system. So wet chemical type fire extinguisher. So this is our wet system. So wet standpipe is filled with water and is pressurized at all times. Whenever the system is activated, water will charge into the connected hose immediately. So wet standpipe can be used by building occupants. Next is your dry system. So next is your dry system. So dry standpipe is not filled with water. The tank of dry standpipe are usually located near a road or driveway so that a fire engine can supply water to the system. This system can be used only by firefighters, and regulations in many countries requires that standpipe system to be charged by hoses from two different pump trucks, which can be accomplished by using both sides of a Siamese connections. Next is your automatic sprinkle type. So this is your sprinkle. Sprinkle means you have to, this is here. This is your sprinkle type fire extinguisher. So this is the nozzle, and from this nozzle you just spray the water to the burning portion or where the fire will taking place. So automatic sprinkle systems are integrated fire suppression system consisting of a water supply and a network of pipe. Next, sprinkler heads and other components to provide automatic fire suppression in area of a building. Next is this system is the most effective for suppressing a class A fire in building containing ordinary combustible materials such as wood, paper and plastic. Next, the design and installation of the systems are strictly regulated by insurance company and in accordance with the fire codes. Next is you have to see the sprinklers. The sprinklers, so basically the major component of an automatic sprinkler system is the sprinklers. So basically sprinklers discharge water in a specific pattern for extinguishing or controlling a fire. A sprinkler head consists of three components. So basically these are the components of our sprinklers. First is your nozzle. So here this is the nozzle. So here this is the nozzle of our sprinklers. Next is our head detector or detector. This is your fusible link type and frangible bulb type. So this is your head detectors. So this is your head detectors. Next is your water spray pattern deflector. So this is the water spray pattern deflector. So this is a spray pattern deflector. This is your spray pattern deflector. Next next these are also different type of sprinklers. So the fusible ring type of heat detector is constructed on a eutectic alloy which melt at a specific temperature rather than gradually softening. When the link temperature reach its melting point, the link is pulled apart by the water pressure and opens nozzle. So the frangible bulb type of detector contains a glass bulb partially filled with a liquid that expands with temperature. At the rated temperature, the liquid will shatter the bulb and open the nozzles. So the temperature rating of heat detectors is divided into 7 groups. Sprinkles are color coded for ease of identification. So here we have a separate table. So here you see maximum ceiling temperature, temperature rating, temperature classification, color code, bit visible links, and glass bulb color. All things are put in this table. So it is not needed for your examination because the things which will very important for examination or you should have to learn. I discuss all these things. So in fire protection, which is in your syllabus. So in fire protection, you have to know what do you mean by fire, what do you mean by fire triangle, and also you have to know the different kinds and different classes of fire. That is your class A, class B, class C, and class F up to class F. Next is your fire extinguisher. So you have to know different types of fire extinguisher. One of the fire extinguisher is your water type. Next is your foam type. Next is your CO2 type. Next is your dry powder type or powder type. Next is your bed chemical types. So you have to remember these things. Next thing that is important for your examination is a pass rule. So we have a pass rule in our fire protection system. So just see this pass rule. See this pass rule. What is pass rule for extinguishing fire? So just I am discussing this point because this point is important. What is pass rule for fire extinguishing fire? So pass rule. Pass rule. Pass rule for extinguishing fire. Pass rule for extinguishing fires. So what do you mean by pass rule? So pass rule, P means this P stand for just P stand for pull. P stand for pull. A stand for aim. A stand for aim. S stand for excuse. S stand for your S stand for excuse. S stand for your sweep. This S stand for your sweep. So this pull is for pull the pin. So in fire extinguisher we have a pin. So what is pass rule for fire extinguishing? Stand for four words. P means pull, A means aim, S means excuse, and S another S means sweep. So P is stand for pull the pin. So it will this will also break the tempered seal. So what will happen before extinguishing the fire? We first of all pull the pin because a pin is inserted in our fire extinguisher. So first step for extinguishing the fire is first we pull the pin, or during pulling the pin, it will break the tempered seal which will be fixed on our fire extinguisher. So first point is we have to pull the pin. First point is we have to pull the pin. So this pulling process or pulling of pin process will break the tempered seal. So pull the pin. Next is your M. So on fire taking place, so at the fire taking place, aim low, pointing the extinguisher nozzle or its its horn or how at the base of the fire. Here We do not touch the plastic discharge horn on CO2 extinguisher because it gets very cold and may damage skin. So aiming, so in aim, we aim the fire extinguisher, or the we aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. So here, what we do, we just nozzle will aim at fire taking place. So nozzle aim at fire base, at fire base, at fire base. Next is your excuse. So excuse the handle to release the extinguishing agents. So what will happen? We just excuse the handle to release the extinguishing agent. It may be your water, it may be your CO2, it may be your powder, it may be your wet chemicals, or it may be your foam. So we what we'll do? We excuse the handle to release the extinguishing agents. Next is your sweep. So sweep from side to side at the base of the fire until it appear to be out. So we watch the area. If the fire reignites, then we repeatedly sweep the fire extinguisher at that place. So this is also a very important rule for our extinguishing the fire. So you have to keep these all the points in your minds, because these all the points are very important for our fire protection consideration. So I think I discussed all the technical aspects of your fire protection, because in fire protection, this uh, I discussed all the things, and some of the things, that what are the fire extinguishing methods. So we have also various kinds of our fire extinguishing method. One is cooling, next is your smoothing, next is your chain breaking. So in cooling, removal of heat from the scans of fire. So we just remove the heat from the sense of fire. Next is a smoothing, so removal of oxygen from the sense of fire. It is called as smoothing. So these are very basic points. So you all know these things. So, so I think if someone have any doubt, then ask to me. Otherwise, I will end our today class. If anyone have any doubt, please say to me. Bubbly, Rasmi, anyone? Okay. किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है? ठीक है, गुड.